What's up, everybody? I'm Don Della Snooch, also known as Don. I pushed the wrong button, and this is Kelly Lunar Girl. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm great. How are you doing, Don?
Well, I pushed the wrong button.
It happens. We
It's not.
haven't done this in like what, 5 months?
It's not my best moment.
Yeah, I know. It's okay though. It's okay. Today is Saturday at 1:10 p.m. Eastern, and as always, we are recording this to live premiere with you guys. Once again, if this is your first time with us, this is our first watch journey. So please, no spoilers. Don't ruin it for us. And we're about to kick off the season 4 premiere with chapter 1, The Hellfire Club.
Pretty sweet. This was a great episode.
This was fire. Now, I've heard from everybody how season 4 is the best season so far, which I don't know. I liked all the other seasons too, but the opening episode, holy shit.
There was a lot of stuff in season 3 that I was like, this is not the best stuff.
You think so?
No, the stuff with the mall Russians and the like a little bit of the stuff with the kids all falling in love. I was like, oh, here we're doing this fucking trope. Ta-da! But
I think it was necessary for the character development.
well, I think, and also in a self-referencing 80s show, you kind of have to follow the 80s tropes. It's just that, it wasn't the strongest season. So I'm looking forward to this one just kicking me in the face.
Just the opening alone. Well, let's talk about the opening, okay? We see an empty street, it's fall. We see a paper boy. He's delivering his papers, and a man comes to the door, picks up his paper in his jammies, pours himself a cup of tea, does a crossword puzzle in 10 minutes. Completely done with the whole crossword puzzle. He snips his topiary, he shaves, he dresses, and holy fuck, it's Papa.
It is Papa.
Fucking Papa. Fuck that guy. Oh, and if you're new here, yes, we do curse. So if cursing isn't your thing, this isn't the review for you.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Yeah, get the fuck out. But if it is for you, stay with us.
Stay the fuck here.
Absolutely. We flash back to September 8th, 1979. Now, when we left off, it was 1985. So now it's 1979. We're at Hawkins' lab. We're in the Rainbow Room that we've heard many times before. We see kids doing ESP things. Dr. Brenner, he enters, he talks to this boy. He's holding a magic 8-ball. The boy is 10 years old. Or no, not 10 years old. He has 10 tattooed on his wrist. So, right. I guess he's one of them. They walk past 11's room. He takes 10. He hooks him up with all these nodes, asks them to do mental telepathy lessons. He's like, okay, now that you see what I'm coloring, find Dr. Ellis. Dr. Ellis is doing lessons with 6. They're playing with a block. Shit, something's wrong. I see blood. An alarm starts sounding, okay? We hear gunshots. The boy looks up and says, 6 and Dr. Ellis are dead. There's blood pouring from his nose, just like what happens to 11. We're hearing screams. Dr. Brenner slowly approaches the door, which is like this giant metal institutional like door, okay? This door just flies off the fucking hinges straight into Brenner's face, okay? Screen goes black. Brenner wakes up. There's blood all over his head. There's blinking lights. The room is all disheveled. He looks over. 10 is dead. There's 4 scratches on his wrist, okay? Like, weird. And there's some weird bruising on his arm. We're hearing screams. Brenner goes out into the hallway. There's dead kids and staff everywhere. He enters the Rainbow Room. He sees 5 and 7 are also dead. these kids are facing, this one kid is facing a double-sided mirror that is all busted up. And Brenner's like, "What have you done?" And this kid turns around and kind of looks like 11, but I
Yeah, quite
wasn't
a bit.
sure because like all the kids have crew cuts, you know, so I wasn't positive. But this kid not only is dripping blood from their nose, but also like all out of their eyes.
Their
Like,
eyes,
just,
yeah.
whoa, gory shit. Okay. And then we have the opening credits. So just like that, it was a holy fuck type of opening.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
I just thought it was a solid intro. I like it.
Definitely grabbed you.
There's a lot of shit that I'm like, well, what's that? What's that? What the fuck is that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. Absolutely.
I didn't have any problems with it.
No, I loved it. At the same time, like, holy fuck, what a mess.
Mm-hmm.
What a mess. So we're back in modern day 1986. We're hearing California Dreamin' by the Beach Boys playing. The music is back in this episode, and I was like, hell yeah.
There was great music in this episode.
Great music in this episode. Elle is writing a letter to Mike, as we remember from the season finale of season 3. Hopper died. Joyce took custody of Elle, and they booked out to California. It's been 185 days since Elle left. In this letter to Mike, she's saying that Joyce is now a telemarketer. Will is making a secret painting. And Jonathan is smoking a reefer. They get picked up from school by one of Jonathan's friends, who drives a pizza delivery van, and he is obviously a pothead. It turns out we're in Lenora Hills, California. The date is March 21st, 1986. We're 2 days away from spring break. And she's going to see Mike on spring break. She's really looking forward to it. Also, in this letter, she says how much she loves her new school. She's made so many friends. And she says that she made so many friends as some jackass is blowing a spitball onto her cheek.
Yeah, I thought that was really weird that she was kind of filling him full of a bunch of shit. Right before he's gonna make a visit.
Right.
Like, what's the point of that?
She's covering up for some reason. We're not sure yet. She also says how great she is at math and her English is getting better, and she hopes that her spelling is better in this letter. So now we flash over to Mike, who's reading that letter, which doesn't seem humanly possible because I remember mail back in the 1980s because, like, you know, as little kids, we used to have to write our relatives and we had pen pals because long distance was way too much money back then.
That's bougie white people shit. I didn't have any of that.
No, exactly. Yeah. But letters took a lot longer than 2 days to get from California to Indiana. You know, it would take at least a week. But Mike is reading it already. So I guess we're in the same day for some reason. But he's in bed. He's in his underwear. Nancy busts in his room. She's like, we're leaving in 30 seconds. You know, get your ass out of bed. 30 seconds with or without you. Mike quick throws on some clothes. There's Karen. Karen's in the kitchen with her new perm and her little, you know, braided sweatband, as was popular back then. With her pink and blue eye makeup. Like,
do you remember
it is so 80s.
How bad the dent in your forehead was after those twisted headbands?
Oh, yeah. It was actually pretty sore to the point of bruising almost. But, you know, it was a fashion statement. So Mike says that he has D&D club tonight, the Hellfire Club. Ted says, you know, it's more like high school dropout club. Like
Mhm.
Ted's still a dumbass.
Right.
Fuck you, Ted. Karen saying 9 p.m. bedtime. You are not allowed to be home any later than that. You have a 6 a.m. flight. And Ted's like, yeah, 6 a.m. flight or no sweetie pie. So, like, shut up, Ted. Fucking Ted.
Leave
So,
poor Ted alone. He's
oh,
been the
fuck
linchpin
Ted.
for this whole series.
He's been a jackass this whole series, like completely oblivious to anything that's going on whatsoever.
Yeah.
Whatever, Ted. So now we're at Dustin's house, okay? And we know it's Dustin's house right off the bat because there's, I don't know, weird metal booster thingamajiggers on his TV antenna on the roof.
Mhm.
So immediately knew it had to have been Dustin's house. He is talking to Susie. Susie's hacking into Dustin's school computer system to change his Latin grade from a D- to an A. So, like, way to go there. Now we flash over to Steve and Robin, who are driving. They're just having girl talk about, different crushes, different dates, and boobies. So they're
Everybody
driving to
likes
the pep
boobies.
rally. Everybody likes boobies. Robin likes boobies. Steve likes boobies. Who
It
doesn't?
made me think about it for a second, and I was like, I also do like boobies.
I don't love boobies, but I do admire some really great boobs, How
That's
can
fair.
you not?
I never look at another penis and go, that's great penis.
Oh, I have looked at many boobs and said, hey, that's a nice set of tits.
Well, there you go.
Girls can do that, though. I mean, all girls do it.
Well, guys can do it. I just have never seen a penis that made me go, I see what you did there.
Maybe it's a girl thing. I don't know.
It might just be penises are ugly thing.
We even tell other girls. Like, I have told friends when they had a really great set of tits. I have told friends many, many times, like, your ass looks great in those pants. It's just something that us girls do.
My ass does look great in these pants.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Wear those pants out then. Don't cover it up with a shirt. Sister advice.
Who wears shirts on their ass?
Some people wear shirts past their ass.
Oh.
Yeah.
All
There's
right.
still guys out there that wear shirts past their ass.
I'm not sure that my shirts aren't relatively long, but they don't cover my ass.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Just a little bit of chick advice.
Chicken vice.
Chicken vice.
Chicken vice.
Chicken vice.
That's to put two chickens together and squeeze them to hold something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chicken vice.
Or a chicken patty.
Which carry on with the show.
We briefly look at Max with her headphones on. She looks absolutely awful. We zoom into the pep rally. Lucas is on the basketball team. He waves to Max, who rolls her eyes. The captain of the basketball team makes his big speech, who's going to win the game for, and then rattles off everybody who's died in Hawkins in the past few months, like
Let's win
Hopper
one for the Gipper.
Yeah, and like you even wonder, like, does this guy even know who Hopper and Billy are? Like, or is he just using it like, we gotta win the game for them? Like, yeah,
he's just the douchebag jock guy.
He seems like a douchebag. We then
my money on him dying soon.
I hope so.
Few episodes.
Douche. Yeah. We move on to Dustin and Mike, and we hear them talking about Eddie, the DM. They have to ask him to move the game because Lucas is playing in the championship tonight. It's like the end of Eddie's campaign, though, like, we all know, like, I play D&D, you play D&D. When there is a finale to a campaign, you don't miss that. The
Yeah,
DMs put a lot of work into writing those.
right. But something like that, I imagine a normal human being would be like, yeah, you only get into the championship if you get into the championship. You should go play basketball.
Yeah, but the day of, you know, he could have let them know like a couple days in advance, you know.
But
It's
that's how
just you
that
don't
works.
wake up one day and say, "Oh, we're in the championship tonight." It's not how that works.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
And
how
it
that
is in
works.
high school.
It's not that's not how that works
Sure
though.
it
Even
is.
in high school I was organized.
No, you go to the thing that was weird was they were having a
Mhm.
pep rally because what they would do is they would go to the tournament and
Mhm.
then all the teams would play until it was the last two teams and then they would play. Like it wouldn't be a fucking 4-day event. It would be like 6 teams got to go and then they play until everybody
I don't
loses.
know. I didn't play basketball. I mean, I played basketball, but I wasn't on a team or anything. I
Me
also didn't go to
either.
basketball games.
Now the way that this show plays it is like it's like state finals or something, which is not the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So Lucas is like like Lucas is talking to him now and like don't you guys want to be popular? Don't you want to like not be known as nerds and freaks anymore? And Dustin and Mike are like, "But we are nerds and freaks." And Lucas is like, "Just move the Hellfire game and come to the game tonight."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know, we're back in California now. Joyce is working on her gigantic cordless phone with the antenna. Do you remember those phones with the antenna?
Yeah.
Now, this
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
a cell phone. This is an actual cordless house
Yeah,
phone.
it's a cordless house phone.
Big ass antenna. Yeah. She receives some mail, a box from Russia, opens the box, and it's like this Russian folk doll, which is
Mm-hmm.
like really weird. Um,
You knew you were going to get your ass beat when you walked in the house and your mom was unscrewing that antenna.
oh God, no, yeah.
Wow.
Luckily we did not have a cordless phone, but my friends had cordless phones. So yeah, I knew of that. We had wooden spoons and shit, you know. We were poor kids. We didn't have the
My
cordless.
friend's mom would take the cord that goes from the phone to the wall
Yeah.
out and whip him with that.
Oh, jeez. That's
She,
gotta leave like an open welt.
she was a tough broad.
Mm,
He didn't fuck up much.
no. And it wasn't abuse back then. It was discipline.
It's still discipline. It's still discipline. It just depends on who you ask.
It depends on who you ask. Yes.
I got one kid that took a lot of beatings, and I got another kid that rarely got any. The one that took a lot of beatings kind of has her shit together.
I have my shit together.
I mean, in a loose stool kind of way.
I have my diarrhea shit together.
I need some fiber in my brain.
Eat more salads. Okay, so we're at Elle and Will's school, okay? And we're in class with them. They're in the same class. It's looks like lit class. This popular girl named Angela, she looks like, the school sweetheart asshole. She's doing this professional slideshow of her hero, which is Helen Keller. She finishes her presentation, the entire class claps for her. Now it's Elle's turn, which she's going by the name of Jane.
Mhm.
I guess 11 would be weird if you're in high school. So Jane is up next. She gets barely any claps. Will supports her though. Will is like, yeah, you could do it. Elle starts, she does a diorama, okay, of her father, which is her hero. Another kid calls it diarrhea. While Elle is talking, fucking Angela, she no, not fucking Angela. This chickie tries to play footsie with Will, okay, and Will's like, ew, get away from me. Angela then interrupts to start sliding Elle's project down. The class is laughing at her. Angela's like, you're supposed to do it on a famous hero, not your dad. And Ella's like, Hopper is my hero. There was a mall fire. He's famous. He saved a lot of lives. He was in the newspaper. And Angela, she's like, oh, well, I just needed clarity. I'm so sorry. And it's like, fuck that bitch. Ella's fighting back tears. Will looks upset. Will looks like in this episode, like with everything, Will is so empathetic over Elle. He looks like he's on the verge of crying every time Elle cries. So
Right.
I don't know if that's a thing or if that's just Will's character. We'll have to follow up with that, but he seems to be absorbing all of Elle's feelings. After class, Will tries to console her. Elle is shouting, you know, friends don't lie. And we hear running up that hill. Running up that
I love that song.
Yes. Kate who, Don?
Kate. It's just Kate.
No, it's Kate something.
I have no idea.
I'll type it in the chat tonight when we premiere this.
That whole, like, you bringing up that girl,
Yeah,
reminded me of a chick I went to school with that was just like that.
yeah.
But then I looked up her picture, or like her pictures on Facebook just now, and I still hate her.
Yeah, I had one of those girls. Her name was Danielle.
And she looks like she's now Kate Bush.
Kate Bush, thank you.
It looks like now she has quite a bit of money, and they fly around in like little private plane, and so I think she was just evil from ever.
Yeah. Danielle, you know who you are.
Yeah, this chick's name was Jessica.
Bitches be bitches.
They do. It's a stereotype for a reason, because there's a bitch like that in every school.
And they're just so funny, and everybody loves them, and everybody laughs when they tell a joke, even if it's at your expense. So, like,
it's funny. I was just looking. This girl has 2 mutual friends. Only one of them is from our grade. And I have lots of friends on there that I went to school with. I wouldn't really call them friends, but like people I went to school with.
Acquaintances.
Yeah. So must be a lot of other folks really didn't fucking like her. Anyway,
we're going to flashback to Hawkins School, where we see a very depressed Max. She walks right past Lucas. She sees the cheer captain, who looks upset coming out of the counselor's office. And but Max has an appointment, so she goes in to see her counselor. She obviously has PTSD. That's like so obvious right off the bat. And who can blame her with what she went through last season? The counselor says Max's grades have dropped. It's not like her. Counselor's asking how mom is, and Max like, she's fine. We just moved. Mom drinks, but she has 2 jobs. The stepdad left, and that's okay because he was an asshole. How's her headaches? Her headaches are better. How's her nightmares? She closes her eyes, and you could see all the flashes to what happened to Billy and how, she was holding Billy when he died. And she lies to the counselor, and she's like, I'm fine. We're just being open. I am being open. She flat out lies about everything. But I don't blame her because that's what I would have done too. It's nobody's business. Get out of my face. Lucas meets Max as she's leaving her counseling sesh. Max looks annoyed. Lucas gives her a ticket to his game, and she doesn't go to games. Lucas found something that he loves. Maybe Max can find something that she loves.
She did not appreciate that shit.
No. She's like, what do you mean I changed? Like, what do you mean I'm a ghost? Something's wrong. Max ditched him. We find that out. Max did break up with him, and she's like, sometimes people just changed. Good luck at your game. So she's pushing him away.
Mm-hmm.
She goes into the bathroom and she's immediately popping Tylenol, so we know she's still having headaches. We hear this chick like coughing in the stall, and she's like puking. Turns out it's the cheer captain. Max asks if she's all right. She gets told to go away, like fuck off politely. Max leaves, but we still hear banging, and the cheerleader captain calls out, who we later find out her name is Christina or Chrissy. She hears her mom. Okay, like her mom. The lights start blinking off and on in the bathroom. We see like nasty ass feet under the stall door, like nasty ass feet. The door is trying to be forced opened. Open the door or I will gut you like a fat pig. So now we know, like, not only is mommy scary, but mommy keeps going in between mommy and some kind of a demon that we will find out later in the episode what that demon was. And obviously Chrissy has some eating disorders. She's probably bulimic, which is very popular in the 1980s.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, great time. Chrissy screams, the voice warps. Did you hear me? Like, it's so weird. Like, this voice keeps going back and forth between mommy and this monster. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts saying go away over and over and over, and then everything stops, and she comes out of the bathroom stall and nobody's there. So something's still happening. We are now at lunch, okay? And we're still in Hawkins. We hear The Devil Has Come to America. This kid is reading a Newsweek article about Dungeons and Dragons, which is absolutely correct. In the 1980s, when Dungeons and Dragons was getting popular, the media was completely against it, telling everybody in society that it was satanic.
Mm-hmm.
It was
That's why I never played it.
Really?
Yep.
I did play it because I knew it wasn't satanic.
I didn't know anybody who played it, and everything that the media was talking about demonized it. So
like, I didn't play it in 1986. I still was a little bit young in 86, but I did play it in like 1991. So
yeah,
it's only 5 years off.
Yeah, I definitely, like, when I would have been the right age to get into it.
Yeah,
it had already came and went and slid back into some obscurity, and I didn't hear about it again until I was grown up.
I thought it was brilliant. But we'll get into that later. So this kid, some long-haired kid in jean jacket and jeans. He looked like a metal kid. You know what the metal kids look like in high school.
That's what I looked like in high school.
Oh, really? You were a metal kid?
Mm-hmm. I had like long fucking hair, shaved on the sides, blue jeans with holes in them. I had a Levi's denim whitewash jacket. I was a smoker at like 12.
I was a smoker at 15.
I looked like a little fucking asshole. Ta-da.
I wasn't a metal kid, although I did like metal, but I was a grunger, so
I had held out with or hung out with skateboard kids. Yeah, I mean like pre-grunge. Like
pre-grunge.
I'm talking like Metallica Ride the Lightning fucking time.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, okay.
like
So, yeah, pre-grunge.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 6th grade, that was
Mhm.
the look.
That's
I,
awesome.
I was a full-time smoker in the 6th grade. I was a bad
I was
person.
not a full-time smoker in the 6th grade. Nah, I had a couple of grades left.
I actually got kicked out of school for smoking at the bus stop.
Oh, you're so bad.
I'm a naughty kid.
And then your mom beat your ass.
No, I got away with that.
Oh, good.
My parents actually felt shitty and they were like, well, we're smokers and we probably did this to you. And within a year or so, they were buying my cigarettes. So,
oh, no shit.
yeah. Well, I mean, I had to pay for it, but
Yeah, of
they
course.
would go get them.
I got my cigarettes by myself. Or Swede's grandma. She always gave me cigarettes. You know, like most grandmas give kids cookies. She's like, here, take a pack. Yeah.
Have a Winston's.
Yeah. They weren't Winston's. I want to say they were Montclairs.
That's pretty bad. Yeah.
I know. Anyway, Mike and Dustin enter the cafeteria and they actually sit with this kid. And they ask him if he's obviously the leader of the Hellfire Club. So they ask him if they can reschedule. And he's like, postpone the cult of Vecna. You know, he starts talking. Apparently, he's already failed the 12th grade twice. The kid talks about how he might graduate this year and walk the stage and flip the principal the bird. Dustin and Mike are the future of the Hellfire Club and thinks everything will be okay. And but then he turns around and says, you better go find an alternate, you know. And introducing Eddie. This is the famous Eddie. Like, I've heard about a character named Eddie, but had no idea. And this is Eddie. So yay.
I just remember hearing about something about him playing guitar at some point.
That's exactly what I heard too. And I have only seen the clips of the kid that goes like, yeah. So welcome, Eddie. After this scene, we hop back over to Joyce in California, who's calling Murray. She's on the phone with Murray, talking about the doll. Should I be worried? Murray's like, I would be. You sabotaged a U.S. operation and killed 2 dozen of their comrades. KGB is probably after you. Remove the dress. Joyce is like, oh, that's disturbing. And he's like, what? You know, thinking we're going to hear about a bug. Nope, the doll has nipples. Murray's in an ice bath because obviously he just finished karate practice. So weird. He's asking, are there wires? You know, what does this doll look like? You know, he doesn't give a shit about the nipples. It's a porcelain doll. It has a crack. It's been glued together. And Murray's like, you got to smash it. It's probably a bomb.
Okay. Yeah, I was so surprised. I'm like, why in the fuck do you think a fucking like 10-inch doll is a bomb?
It's gotta have a bomb in it.
It's like 1980, whatever. Like fucking like maybe a briefcase could be a bomb.
But this is Murray. He is, you know, the special. Constant
mentally handicapped.
I wouldn't say that. He's like the king of conspiracy theories, you know? He's like one paranoid dude, you know? Government's covering up everything. So,
well, to be fair, they are.
Yeah, I know. It's different now in 2024. Anyway, so now we're at Woodshop and it's Jonathan. His pothead friend is talking to him, like long, dark, straight, beautiful hair. And he's asking, you know, how come Nancy's not coming out for spring break? Is she ditching you? And Jonathan's like, no, she's working. Also, the pothead drives a pizza van. He's the one that drove him to school. Nancy, we flash over to, who is wearing an Emerson College sweatshirt. So we know she's in college, and she must be the editor of the newspaper by the way she's acting, or maybe she's co-editor or editor's assistant, something like that. She's talking to this well-dressed nerd friend about Jonathan and how come Jonathan can't come over for spring break. This friend is acting the same way as Jonathan's stoner friend. Jonathan's friend is like, give that hand of yours a vacation and get some hanky panky. So I thought that was kind of funny. Cross back over to Nancy and Jonathan. They're both saying like things are gross. Nancy's defending Jonathan. Jonathan's defending Nancy. They both cite reasons why they love each other. And then after the back and forth, Mike busts into the newspaper room, and all the nerds stop, and it's completely quiet. And they all look up at Mike, and Mike's like, Nancy. And everybody is so quiet, and Nancy's staring. And Mike's like, want to play Hellfire with us tonight? And like, we hear the bell ring. Okay. We're over at Dustin. Justin's on the payphone with Steve. Dustin's like, please play D&D with us tonight. Nope. Steve has a date. And Dustin's like, can you move your date? And Steve's like, and play with Eddie the Freak Munson? No. And Dustin's like, you're just jealous. And then we hear Play With Me by Extreme. Come on. Okay. Like the music Extreme continues. I do too.
That band got a bad rap, I think, at some point. Like it was just like it wasn't hard enough or something. People were like, fucking Extreme.
Well, that was 1986, but then in like what, 91, 92, probably 91, when More Than Words came out, and then the radio played it over and over and over and over and over, and that song got fucking played out, and then Extreme sucks again.
Yeah, I think they had an album called Three Sides to Every Story that was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But I think it was right around, it might even have had More Than Words on it.
Was that I think it was. I don't know. I'll let you know later. That brain cell got replaced with something else along the years.
Facts.
But it's almost been 40 years, so yeah. So we're back at Mike. They're still trying to recruit people to play D&D. He's at wrestling practice, and he's asking a guy to play, and he's trying to tell him, yeah, we fight with dice. Now we're flashing back over to Dustin, Max, and he's asking Max. Max is like, if I do play, do I get one of those cool t-shirts? And Dustin's like, yes. And Max is like, really? And Dustin's like, oh, you're being sarcastic. Are you being sarcastic? And Max is just smiling, and she skateboards away, and Dustin's like, yeah, she's probably being sarcastic, but nobody knows. We're back over to Mike. He's in the science lab. He asked some science guy to play, and he's like, my mom says that Dungeons and Dragons promotes Satanism and animal cruelty. And Mike's like, that is all just bullshit media propaganda. And the science guy is like, not according to 60 Minutes. It's like,
I wonder where that came from, to be honest with you. Like,
who first made it up?
The anti
D&D?
Was it?
I don't know.
Was it like fucking rich guys at Parker Brothers were like, this bullshit? These guys, Wizards of the Coast, are making this game fucking, we're not getting a cut of it, and the kids are eating it up. Or was it like some
probably
fanatic,
like televangelists or something?
Some fanatical religious group was like, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that's what I think it was.
Because there weren't demons and shit in this game unless you put them in there.
Exactly.
Like, it's not like, oh, it could only be this. Like,
Yeah.
it's ogres and orcs and fucking dragons and you know what I
When
mean?
you role play, you're going to be making sacrifices in real life.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah. Fuck that noise. So Justin and Mike get 5 more no's. Mike and Dustin are sitting on a wall. Dustin's like, I hate high school, so screw this. And he's like, and he's got an idea. And he starts running because it's after school now. And Mike's like, wait for me. And he's like, Dustin, what are you talking about? And they're running away. And they run right past Christina, the cheer captain. She looks at them. She still looks pretty upset. She starts walking. She crosses a field. Of course, she's going into the woods. She sees a picnic bench with empty beer cans on it. So, it's the after school hangout for the deadbeats, but she's in the middle of a forest right now with a picnic table. And there all of a sudden is a clock on a tree. Okay. She's like, hello. Nobody's answering her. The clock is the correct time. It's 2:56 in the afternoon, which seems about the time that school would let out. It's chiming, it's ticking, it cracks, and fucking spiders go everywhere. Why the fuck did it have to be spiders? Like,
That's why it had to be spiders.
Ah!
Dumbasses like you were like, it's a spider.
I hate it.
I just don't want them in my bedroom.
I don't want them anywhere. Oh, but fucking spiders. And they're like, they're like they're relative to the Black Widow, where they're all like bony and black, and the black abdomen, and like
You're sounding awful racist. You should probably push on.
It's just a spider. It's spiders everywhere, though. Like hundreds of. I hated it. I'm gonna have nightmares about that tonight. Anyway.
Sex with Chris?
No sex with Chris.
Then
Spiders.
You're
I
getting
can't
the
get
spiders.
that out of my head now. I can't get that vision of spiders.
You're getting
out
the
of my
spiders
head.
then. That's
Fuck, man.
All right, we got 17 minutes, Kelly.
I can do it. She goes to run and scream, and she backs right into Eddie. Okay, weird Eddie. He apologizes. Are you okay? Christina looks at the tree. There's no clock there. There's no spiders. She sits down at the bench. Eddie has a lunchbox, and apparently, he's there to sell her weed in a, one of those old-fashioned black metal
thermos lunchbox. That's what that is.
Yeah. He calms her down though, which was nice. Like, Eddie has a nice side, so that's cool. Promises that she's safe. And Christina hears a squirrel. She's jumpy. Eddie's like, we don't need to do this. And Christina's like, do you ever feel like you're losing your mind? And Eddie starts comforting her, like, yeah, every single day. Makes her laugh, calls her the Queen of Hawkins High. He can't believe that he's talking to her. The last time they talked was in middle school, and she's starting to remember, oh, yeah, he played the guitar. And he said he still does every Tuesday, but both not mean and scary, and he's going to sell her a half ounce for $15, which is a 25% discount. So it's like, whoa, $15 for a half ounce of weed.
I'm not sure that a half ounce of weed costs $15 now.
Well, that's because you live in Michigan where it's regulated.
Right.
Okay.
But I mean, like, I think people are buying ounces for like $80.
Not here in Pennsylvania.
Did you say
say
$15 for a half ounce?
$15 for a half ounce.
Oh, so I guess maybe that's closer to today's rates.
You can get
maybe
With your medical
half
card,
of-
a
yeah.
quarter is anywhere between $30 and $60.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shit up here is way cheaper.
And I don't know what street value is. I'm pretty sure street value is cheaper than going to a dispensary with your medical card,
I
but
don't
we're
smoke,
not
so
regulated.
I'm out of the
Yeah.
loop.
Yeah. In the dispensary, a half ounce is way more than $15. Hell, an eighth is more than $15 here. But anyway.
Fucking Pennsylvania.
Anyway.
Next
We're
time, fuck Pennsylvania.
Damn potheads. Anyway, we're in algebra class
Damn
with
front
L.
platers.
We don't have front plates. Fuck front platers. Usually New Jersey. They're bad drivers here. Anyway, algebra class. L's in algebra class. Teacher slaps a nice big fat F on L's desk. Needs to see her after school, L, or after spring break. L leaves. She's in her own little world. She's walking. Fucking Angela, that fucking bitch trips her. Okay. She falls on the ground. Her diorama goes flying. Everybody's laughing. A fucking asshole boy steps on the diorama. Ella's crying. Will just got outside, sees what's going on. Huge crowd surrounding Elle at this point. Elle's getting bullied. She gets up off the ground. She calls Angela's name, does her thing where she holds out her hand and she screams, and nothing happens. Elle
I completely forgot she'd lost her powers.
I forgot that too.
I was like, I expected this girl to explode.
I did too.
And she didn't do shit.
Nothing. It's just Elle standing outside in the middle of a huge crowd, screaming and holding her hand like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that poor girl.
It's like when I try to use the force. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah. And you just look like a dumbass. So everybody's laughing at Elle. The teacher comes running out. Teacher breaks it up. She's standing over top of Elle. Did somebody do this? And Elle's like, no, I fell. But then she sees fucking Angela there laughing. And she's like, grabs Angela's arm. And she's like, Jane, tell her it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. But she got in trouble anyway. So good. Fuck her. Elle is still there, picks up a broken hopper. And Will's trying to console her. Will's on the verge of tears again. And Elle is crying. So sad.
Do you have a Ahsoka Baby Yoda?
An Ahsoka Baby Yoda?
Yeah, behind you. Or is that Disney ears on a Baby Yoda?
Oh, that's Disney ears on a Baby Yoda.
Okay.
And I dressed him up too.
I just noticed. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Disney Ahsoka ears on my Baby Yoda. He's the Baby Yoda who talks. Yeah. I'd show you, but if I got up to show you, you'd see my pajama pants, and we don't do pajama pants on streams, so no.
We shouldn't do New York Giants pillows, but here we are.
You know what, Dan?
All right, wrap it up. We got like 10 minutes.
Okay, I could do this. Oh, yeah. I don't have much more anyway. All right. So we pan over to Joyce, okay, who's still on the phone with Murray. Now she's wearing goggles and she has a paint can hanging over a tree with a rope, okay? And the neighbors across the street come home with two little kids and they're like, Mommy, what is she doing? And Mom's like, let's go in the house, honey, because she's like, what? Joyce is kooky. Joyce needs to smash the doll because there's a bomb in it. Murray's like, Joyce, Joyce drops the paint can onto the doll, drops the phone. Murray thinks that the bomb went off, like, Joyce, can you hear me? Joyce inspects the broken doll though. There's no explosive device. Murray's still freaking out though. There's a scroll inside the doll with a letter with like the cut and paste alphabets that you used to see ransom notes and stuff back in the 80s. It said the only thing that I saw was Hop is alive. He looks fold, FOLD, FOID, to date. So I don't know what that means. But it said Hop is alive! Hop is alive! Yee! Hopper's alive. Yes, he is alive, Don. Yes, he is alive. Hopper's alive. That note said it.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Hop can't die.
No, I don't want him to die.
Every vagina for 600 miles would dry up simultaneously.
Absolutely. And then the bottom says, please to make, PLEEZ to make, and I couldn't read the rest. But that's okay because now we're at the game over in Hawkins. Nancy's there representing the paper with the two other paper nerds. Steve comes walking into the game, taking his ditzy chick, Brenda, on a date. We see Robin, right near Steve playing the trumpet in the band. Tammy Thompson from Nashville is going to come out and sing the national anthem. And if you remember back in season 3, Tammy is the one that Robin had a crush on, that Steve thought Robin had a crush on him, but she really had a crush on Tammy. And they had like that big heart to heart when they were all like tied up together in the Russian lab.
I was totally shipping Strabon.
Yes, exactly. So Tammy starts singing the national anthem. The microphone is squealing. She is so flat. And Steve's like, see, I told you she sounds like a Muppet. That made me laugh.
I forgot all about that too until he said it. And I'm like, oh yeah, there was a whole thing about she sounds like a Muppet.
It sounds like a Muppet. And then I love the continuity in this. It was a whole season away, and I love the continuity. The Ditz, Brenda the Ditz is like, wow, she sounds amazing. And it's like,
she reminded me of that chick in White Christmas. It's like mutual, I'm sure.
Mutual, I'm sure.
I'm like, fuck that. She's got to be a front plater.
She's too much Aquanet. Fried some brain cells there, man. We flash over to Lucas, who is on the court now. He's coming out. He's looking for Max. Will and Dustin recruited Erica to play D&D, which I was happy about. Erica really grew on me.
Yeah.
She really grew on me. Like, I like her now.
I don't, but
you don't like it?
I don't dislike her. I just was like, oh, this chick's back.
She proved herself to me, so I like her. But she's wearing an American flag, which, like, you're wearing a flag as a cape. Like, I don't get it. Eddie looks at Erica and says, absolutely not. Eddie and Erica start bantering back and forth, and Erica's really good at bantering, if you remember. She puts Eddie in his place, and then Eddie approves. So let's start the game. We're flashing back between the game and Dungeons and Dragons at this point. Vecna lives. And then the game and Dungeons and Dragons. And then the game and Lucas is in because of an injury. And Dungeons and Dragons to the death. They're fighting to the death. Okay, we're at the end. It's back and forth and back and forth. And then they call a timeout on Dungeons and Dragons, and they call a timeout at the game. Okay, because we're in crunch time now. They all go into their huddles. The basketball team's in a huddle, coming up with the strategy. Dungeons and Dragons they're coming up with a strategy in a huddle that, you know, Eddie, the dungeon master, is not a part of. Dustin Dustin plays Han Solo now. Well, quotes Han Solo and says, "Never tell me the odds." And I'm like, yeah, Dustin with the Star Wars. I love it when they quote Star Wars. Love it.
Me too.
Both games are now on. Okay. Captain goes up for a shot in the basketball game. He misses. Dustin throws his D20.
Kelly, you have 2.5 minutes.
I can do this. Okay. Erica rolls. Everybody's holding their breath. Lucas takes a shot. Everybody's holding their breath. Erica, she rolls a natty 20. Lucas makes a shot. Okay. Everybody's happy. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody leaves. Lucas is leaving. Erica's leaving. Lucas looks and wants to join his friends, but he's going to celebrate with his new friends. Okay. Max is living in the trailer park, goes out to feed her dog, who is barking, and she's feeding him and sees Eddie pull up with a cheerleader captain with Chrissy in the trailer park, because I guess he lives right across the street. Eddie, who lives with his uncle, who is currently working right now, he's in there, and Chrissy wants Special K, okay, ketamine, okay, it's like, meh, psycho drug. Chrissy starts hallucinating again. She sees her mom at a sewing machine. Her mom turns into this freaky ass bitch, closes the door in the house. The mom shouting after her. Her voice is going into the monster voice again. Eddie, who is looking for the Special K, he finally found it. But while he's finding it, Chrissy sees her dad with his eyes and his mouth all sewn shut. Chrissy's in a trance. Her eyes are glossed over and rolled in the back of her head. Eddie's trying to snap her out of it. Chrissy, wake up. Like there's, he said, Chrissy, wake up. So now I made that connection. The lights are flashing in the dreamland and in Eddie's house in real life. And there's spiders, there's flies, and there's spiders that Chrissy is seizing. Like the fucking spiders are back, okay? And then all of a sudden, like Eddie is really trying to wake up Chrissy because she's acting like she's in an overdose or something like that. And all of a sudden, Chrissy starts levitating, okay, in real life, and then gets flung up against the ceiling, okay? Now, she's being held to the ceiling, and in her dream, it's the fucking Vecna. The Vecna is throwing her up there and shit, snapping her arm, and says that, you know, it's all going to be okay now, Chrissy. And that's how we left. The Vecna throws her, and in real life, she's slamming on the ceiling, and then blood starts pouring out of her eyes, and Eddie screams. The end.
Yep. The end.
The end.
I
did it.
You did. You did very good.
Thank you.
I really love the end.
Yeah.
Like super scary bad guy, super scary situation.
Super scary fucking spiders.
Spiders. You say spiders one more time, you and Dragon Buddy gotta get it on. It's a rule. Yep.
Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight, friends.
Yep.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye. And may the stranger things be with you.